Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to announce that we're here for the Letcher County Water and Sewer District regular meeting, Thursday, October 16th, 2025. The first item on the agenda is the call to order. The second item is the approval of the September 18th, 2025 meeting minutes, and they are attached.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you, Fred. A second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Richard. The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next on the agenda is the engineer's report from Bell Engineering.
Good afternoon. Starting out with Carbon Globe Road project. The contractor completed work on Friday, June 24th. Final closeout documents were executed on September 9th. MGM Contracting informed us that they'd received another invoice from CSX Transportation in the amount of $10,828.34 for inspection services provided by CSX sub Osprey Integrity Inspection Services. At the time we closed out MGM's contract, there remained a balance of $21,101 in the allowance for CSX fees. We met with Jason, Mark, and the district has agreed to reimburse MGM for this expense since it was really just a delayed invoice. It wasn't necessarily fault. And this will be done via an additional pay request that MGM will submit to the district. Next, Federal Bureau of Prisons Roxana Waterline project. Construction began April 1st, and as of October 3rd, the contractors installed approximately 15,890 feet of 8-inch ductile, 3,306 feet of 10-inch polyethylene, and 6,891 feet of 4-inch ductile iron pipe. BP Pipeline submitted pay request number 7 today, totaling $321,799.57 for execution at the construction progress meeting earlier today. Contractor has begun work on Division B, which is the Kentucky 7 portion of the project, and completed the directional bore across Rockhouse Creek. Additionally, on this Division B, 647 feet of 8-inch PVC, 125 feet of 6-inch PVC, 40 feet of 10-inch steel cover pipe has been installed by jack and bore method, along with a few other gate valves, flush hydrants, and test meter. At this point, 56.6% of the contract time has elapsed, with 67.3% of the work completed, so still ahead of schedule there. Bill's in the process of getting the CSX permit for the bore at Roxana. We just received notice that CSX is currently in their review process, so we're getting this permit received. Moving on, Kentucky 7 waterline relocation at Red Star Bridge. The contractors installed all the 4 and 8-inch main line north of the bridge. These lines have been tied in, tested, and disinfected. Service lines and meters have been set. Directional bore complete. MGM made the final tie-ins the week of September 22nd, and construction is now complete on this project. Millstone Phase 2, the design's complete. KYTC encroachment permit for the project was submitted to the District 12 on July 2nd, and a field review of the project with Bell and KYTC was conducted on July 31st. Because the water for this project will be purchased from Jenkins and fed off the existing tank at Payne Gap, no additional pump station or tank will be required to serve the project. The project was submitted to the Division of Water on July 25th, and we just received approval from the Division of Water Tuesday, October 24th. Bill's also in the process of preparing easement exhibits and area descriptions where they're required. Plans have been submitted to AML, currently being reviewed, and they've started their NEPA study. They sent back a few questions to us this week that we're addressing some permitting. And upon AML and district approval, the project will be ready to bid. Red Star Turkey Creek Phase 3, design's been completed, hydraulics have been rerun, Bell completed taking pictures and measurements per KYTC's requirements. We made a site visit on July 15th, we performed a constructability review. We submitted the encroachment permit on July 29th, and the field review of the project was conducted on July 31st. We performed final QA of the plans and specs, and the property for the proposed tank site and booster pump station site have changed owners. Bell's obtained the PVA property information, and after meeting with the district, it was recommended that we look at alternative tank sites in this area that could be used. That's where Red Star stands. Loggy Hollow zone meter replacement project. We've laid out the Loggy Hollow line and completed the hydraulics and prepared the division water submittal. We completed the surveying of the bore crossing under Kentucky 15 for the encroachment permit application. We completed a site visit to assess the Pratt Fork pump station, and we're finalizing the plans for that portion of the project. JAGS Environmental, which is the sales rep for the EFI pump station, we obtained a cost estimate to rehab the station. I'm sorry, for a new station, that was in the range of $150,000 to $170,000. We're providing additional information on the condition of the existing station to gather a estimate to rehab the existing station. Zone meters have been located on a topographic map, and we're in the process of looking at the previous water line contracts to determine the line sizes and exact location of the zone meters. And once that takes place, we'll be able to visit each site to determine the exact location and GPS locate each site. Cumberland River Phase 1, plans have been revised based upon the rerun hydraulics. Cost estimate was updated at the request of the Area Development District. Bell will schedule a site visit to perform constructability review, take pictures for KYTC, and then we'll proceed with the final design and submit to the Division of Water. Once that takes place, we'll be able to bid pending funding availability. Next, Cumberland River Phase 4. We made site visits August 25th and September 23rd to perform constructability review, locate drains, culverts along the state highways, and take measurements and pictures required by KYTC. Those plans are currently being drafted. Hydraulics have been run, and next steps are to finalize the plans, specs, and perform QA review, and then submit the encroachment permit, KYTC, and to the Division of Water. After Division of Water KYTC approval, then the project can be bid pending funding availability. This project is ARC and coal severance funded. Lastly, Millstone Sanitary Sewer. Agreed order was entered into between the district and Division of Water. As part of that agreement, a corrective action plan was prepared and submitted to the Division of Water. Permit applications for the septic system serving the structures east of Millstone have been submitted to the Health Department and are currently under review. These will be bid as soon as the Health Department approval is received. And then the on-site sewage disposal system layouts for the structures that are to remain occupied were completed, and copy of the plans were given to the district and have been submitted to the Health Department for approval. Lastly, construction and engineering pay items for the month. We've got one construction for Federal Bureau of Prisons project for BP Pipeline. We've got 4 for engineering. First, also for Federal Bureau of Prisons job for Bell Engineering. Got engineering for Millstone Project Phase 2 for Bell, engineering for Red Star Phase 3 for Bell, and then engineering for Millstone Sewer and Septic Tank Project for Bell. So, any questions?
Don't think so. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the pay request for Bell Engineering construction projects. Do I hear a motion for approval?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Fred. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jerry. The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next is the engineer's report from GRW.
I'll be brief, I promise you. So I gave you two project reports. The first one is the one I want to talk to you is the meter replacement project. And on these reports, those are the action items that have occurred to date. Anything in green is something that has occurred before the last, or has occurred between the last meeting and now. Everything's been sent to RD. Request for permission to bid has been submitted. However, RD is closed down. If you flip over, Kim Paget sent me that email. And I don't mean to offend, I don't know anybody's politics, but that's what's posted on their website. And until the federal government opens back up, that's where it stands. It sits at RD's office right now. When she sent me that, I thought she's photoshopped that and she's messing with me. So I got online and went to the USDA website, and I would encourage y'all to do the same. And that's what it says. So everything's ready to go on that. It's just we need the federal government to open back up and authorize us to bid it. The next project is the treatment facility. So I had to break this into 2 pages now. So the action items on the first page, if you flip over to the second page, we'll go down to item 32. And I'm seeing some typos in here. Please just don't pay attention to those. That's me not being able to see it, being a terrible typos. Anyway, item 32 is CSX, we've been going back and forth with CSX. They sent us an email, and the email is attached as the next page on this report. And their response was, and Fred and Jerry, you guys may know more about this than I do, but they said that it may or may not require CSX to file a formal abandonment request with the Surface Transportation Board. Never worked with them before. Here's the kicker. With such a filing, a non-refundable filing fee estimated between $50,000 and $70,000 will be required. Okay? In addition to that, the judge was able to talk to the property owner. The property owner did not say no, but indicated that they would prefer we use a different piece of his property. So we met with Jason and Mark and talked about it. And the bottom line is that my recommendation to you would be to look at the alternate site that we looked at before. That property owner was agreeable to that. It gets CSX out of the way. I talked to Division of Water about the plant being located in Perry County but serving Letcher County. Not an issue with Division of Water. You won't have any metered customers in Perry County, but you were going to anyway. It's about 3.3 acres. It gives you room to build what you want. Division of Water's on board with it. I spoke to 2 of the 4 funding agencies. It does not compromise your funding to relocate the site. However, it does trigger the environmental process again. With that being said, and Lisa's not here tonight, Trevor is, but I talked to Lisa and Kim. Kim indicated that RCAP would step in and help with the environmentals. Lisa said she would help. And then Mike and I driving down here, it's something that we've done before with like Cumberland Ad and a couple others we're doing with Cumberland Valley Ad right now for Corbin. We will step in and help. So instead of putting all this on the ad and having them do 4 new environmentals, we're going to bust it up and try to get it done. The 3 of us talked about it sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas, have all those environmentals submitted to the respective agencies for review. But that's all pending what the board wants to do. I mean, we can proceed with filing the transfer, whatever that agency, whatever you've heard of, STB permit, but it is going to be about a $60,000 cost with no guarantee that they're even going to approve it. Or we can move on with the other site. Again, I think our recommendation would be the other site is
Yeah, assuming the board is okay with, you know, looking
Sir, you
at-
care to come up?
Sir, I was gonna say, and Alan, don't run off, because I'll be brief too. Assuming the board is okay with looking at the other side, again, it does cross the county line to get to that side, but assuming that, I think the side is a little easier to construct on, it's a little more manageable than where it was before, and it's got a little more room to grow if you guys did need that. So.
And there'll be, we're not into the weeds on design on this, but there'll be some cost savings with sludge handling because it gives you the size to lagoon your sludge as opposed to pressing it and all the stuff that comes with those facilities. There'll be some cost savings. Single phase power is available at the site. They'll have to make that 3, but the pole's already across the river, so that shouldn't be an issue. The other thing with Division of Water, so you all did 12 months of sampling on the North Fork, and we sampled at a specific point. When I talked to the Division of Water, I said, we're going to move down about a half mile down the river. Are we going to have to redo the 12 months of sampling? They said no. They said as long as there's not a permanent discharge between the old site and the new one, and there's no more confluences like the Line Fork, that what we sampled for that 12 months will be applicable to the new site. So there's no delay on any of that. So, I mean, those are the only drawback is we're redoing the environmental, but also with that, you still have the EPA and CDBG environmentals are still in limbo right now. So really, you're just redoing 2 of them. And that's
Alan, would you state that in a way that I could ask them for a motion, please?
Sure. I guess the motion I would recommend is that you authorize us to proceed with, I don't know, an analysis of the alternate site, something like that. And the other thing Mike and I were talking about, there's a lot of stuff with this. It's not just a line project somewhere. So, and this is probably not the forum to talk about this stuff. If you all wouldn't be opposed to it, we're going to have to come down to a site visit next week anyway, but at your all's convenience, whoever's available, do a little workshop and talk to you about the different pieces that are going on here. If that makes sense. Funding's the biggest one, right? And like I said, we've talked to 2 of the 4, and we've got a meeting with the 3rd one tomorrow, and there are phone calls out to the 4th one. But if you all wouldn't be opposed to that, that would be another thing we'd like to do. But I didn't mean to interrupt your motion. I'm sorry.
Okay. So there is a motion that Alan has suggested. Do I hear the motion from anyone?
To pursue the alternate side, right?
To proceed with the alternate site, yes. Thank you, Jerry.
I'll make it.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Fred. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you. So as far as the workshop goes, I'll coordinate that through you, and you all figure out so we can do it via Teams, but we'd love to come down here and sit down and lay everything out on the table and really go through this, and your all's input would be very important to it, and it's also good that you know that it's transparent, you know what's going on. So I'll just coordinate that through you. 2 projects I don't have reports on. Add is you have resubmitted the ARC application for Mountain Creek water line, and you're still working on the CDBG DR agreement. So those 2 projects are moving forward as far as funding is concerned. But that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I did not hear you say a pay request.
No, and that's another reason for the workshop. So the RD money, like I've told you all before, they've requested that we don't submit our pay request until the project go to construction. It can't go to construction until the federal government opens back up. So we're holding our fees on that. The water plant, we don't have any requests because of the funding situation. If we give them to you, there's no pay. So we're going to hold them for a little bit longer.
Okay, thank you, Alan. And next, on the agenda is CRAD.
Okay, so we should have the current progress and some updates on the handout that I passed out. Right now, I do have a couple resolutions I want to go ahead and get through. We're going to vote on. Now, the Cumberland Valley Waterline Extension Phase 1 and the waterline extension for the autism clinic. Those ARC pre-applications have been submitted, but they got back to us and said that's best to have go ahead and get the resolutions on those if you can. So if you want to go ahead and get some votes on those, I think you guys should have copies of those.
We do. We have those in front of us. So that's what you want us to do at this point?
If you want, yeah. If you
Okay.
want, that's best to do it now or later on and at the end there, whichever one's best.
Okay. I would hear a motion to accept the two resolutions from CRAD.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Fred. A second?
I like it.
Thank you, Jerry. The motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Okay, great. If you have a chance to go over any of those updates or anything like that, you want I can pass on any questions or answer what I can.
Do you want to take a few minutes to look more at that for questions? Are we okay? Okay, thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the payment of the monthly bills of the district, and they are also attached to this packet. Jason, is there anything in particular you'd like to share with us about this?
We dropped about $11,000 on their water bill. And today I found out that the Garner Mountain meter is off 7% in their favor. So I reckon they're going to switch the meter. They couldn't calibrate it. So, 7% is a pretty good lock. I figured around $20,000 a year on 7%. So I don't know how long it's been that way, but from what I understand, it's going to be fixed soon.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion that we pay the monthly bills?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. A second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Fred. The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next on the agenda is board member comments and discussion. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss just for a few minutes is that there will be an opportunity to sign. Stephanie, do you want to give me the details of that again? This right here is what it's right there in my email right there. So this is from, it is about the Blackie Community Center. Our office will be handling the closing of the above aforementioned property to the Letcher County Fiscal Court. We will need a copy of the minutes or a resolution authorizing the sale of this property to the Letcher County Fiscal Court, and we are trying to close this one by tomorrow, but think it has been moved to next week. Please forward this at once. So in order to do that, and because sometimes I don't have enough front time to make a plan to be there, I would like to see if we can have a motion that Jason could sign for me as the chairperson on this particular item. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Fred.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jerry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Are there other board member comments or discussion? Do we have public comments? floor is open for public comments. Okay, the last item on the agenda is the adjournment. Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Richard.
I second.
Thank you, Fred. The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Thank you, Richard, for your service.
Thank you.
You guys have a good